Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Welcome, Lindsay. Before I introduce you, Lindsay, I want to just go over a couple of things. People, I'm not really going to cover how to structure your social media, but I'm going to cover it a little bit. If you're hoping to make more deals, whether it's as a realtor or as any business, you got to have a structure to your social media. If you're kind of doing what I used to do probably 3 or 4 years ago, doing it when I felt like it, when it felt good, maybe if I had the energy or inclination, once in a while, that doesn't work. You've got to have a structure. And if you're interested in my structure and what I use, and which has gained me 5 to 8 deals a year just from social media, pop a comment just saying structure, and I'm going to send you the structure. But this is how I structure mine. Basics: one reel a day, even on a Saturday and Sunday. 2 carousels a day, every day, multiple pictures, and then at least 3 stories. If you just do those 3 things, you then become the name and face of whatever industry you're in, and your people and your following. It leads to deals, but I'm not going to go into that. I want to introduce to you the amazing Lindsay. Lindsay brings. I'm going to go. I've got a bio. Look, she told me to read this word for word. I can't change the script. So I only did was take out her last name. Lindsay brings over 2 decades of experience in the marketing industry, having witnessed and adapted to the shift of traditional to digital marketing. She specializes in leveraging human psychology. While we're all here, it's new shit, guys, to craft compelling branding and marketing strategies. A deep understanding of consumer behavior has made her a highly sought after strategy expert in the field. She has worked with professional sport teams, tech firms, and event industry professionals, helping them elevate their branding and marketing stories. Welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. So, just for everybody, if you know me, if you follow me, you know that I approach life from a humorous standpoint. But I want to let you know how I met Lindsay. We were at a networking event a couple of weeks ago with the Vancouver Board of Trade. And I very quickly tuned into the fact that Lindsay comes at this branding and marketing from a whole different strategy that I haven't heard of. I'd never really thought of, even though I might be doing it on a subconscious level. So today we're going to cover a few items of the angle which Lindsay comes at. But Lindsay, I'm going to stop talking for you right now. Give me an elevator pitch. Go.
So the elevator pitch is what I'm finding in a lot of the industry and a lot of people that are in this what I do. So I'm on the strategy side. So there's two different things. There's a strategist and there's a technician or a tactician. So the strategist actually builds that whole idea and the vision of the company and where it needs to be and hits those pain points in that strategy. A tactician takes what's in the strategy and then they take the action to do that. So whatever platform that needs to be on, whatever trend they want to start, all of the things. So there's such a big difference between whether or not you need a strategist or whether you need a tactician, and they are two very, very different people. As a strategist, I'm here for you, and I'm going to teach you through human psychology why it's so important to be incorporating that into your branding and marketing strategy.
So tell me, obviously being in marketing and branding for a number of years, what did you see that you thought, hang on, there's a bit of psychology that's involved in this game.
Yeah.
Let me start exploring that.
Yeah, so I mean, it starts at a very, very young age too. Now, if you think about the cereal aisle effect, and so that is back way, way back from when we were all very, very little. When we walk down the cereal aisle, there are certain brands, even from when we were younger, that are either now nostalgic or we pick them now based off of so many different things. So it's based off lifestyle, it's based off nutrition, it's based off nostalgic. It's all of these things. So it tells a lot by the branding and marketing that these companies put into it and what you're feeling when you walk down that aisle. So if I take, say, Trix has the big bunny on it. And so when you were younger, the way that branding and marketing work, they used the human psychology even back then, and they placed that box at a very specific level on the shelves. And they did that because legend says when a child looked at that box on the shelf, the bunny looked like it was looking down at the child. So they interacted in a child friendly way. And then, of course, the child would then go, Mommy, Daddy, this is the brand I want. This is the cereal I want. Look at, I'm talking with the bunny. He's looking at me. I need that. So that's the power of human psychology, just on a very simple level on where you put your brand on a shelf. You know, colors come into effect. emotions come into effect when you walk down that cereal aisle now. You'll probably look at some brand there and be like, I so remember that when I was a child. It resonates.
Amazing.
And that's the power of human psychology.
So you're taking the traditional branding and marketing of yesterday, of being repetitive, being in your face, that kind of visual aspect, and bringing feelings into it. You're connecting what you do instead of just doing the traditional. You go, hey, we've got feelings involved when it comes to selling a product.
Absolutely. So every decision that any human ever makes is based off of emotion. And there is a vast wheel of emotions that you can choose from, but there's always an emotion. Just like when you tell a story, there's always a story behind a story. Why are you telling the story? Because something resonated. So when you're building those branding and marketing strategies, you have to go after those emotions to make that resonate, to make that stick within your audience. And that's how you're going to build that community.
Amazing. Well, I've got some amazing questions lined up for you, right? I hope you're ready. So I'm going to go right off the bat, and if you've got any questions, people, just pop it in the comments. I'll get to them. But right off the bat, what psychological principles do you leverage most frequently in your branding and marketing strategies?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. The short of it is every client is different. So if we look at that fundamentally, we find that effective branding and marketing revolves around leveraging key psychological principles. So at the core, it's about empathy and connection and tapping into the emotional triggers of the audience. And we also use social proof and authority, so aligning your brand with trusted voices to build that trust. Now, there's also scarcity and urgency that uh, in fact, it increases perceived value, and while consistency and the messaging that fosters loyalty. So then we're going to flip. So let's not forget about reciprocity. So that also plays a crucial role. So by providing a value upfront, and by doing that, what you're doing is you're building goodwill, and that leads to conversion. So ultimately, by aligning your branding and marketing strategies with human psychology, you can then leverage the creation of meaningful connections and genuine value.
Wow. Guys, did you even write any of that down? I hope you're taking notes. This is gold. This is absolute gold. Hey, I'm going to throw you a curveball. Obviously, I come at this from a real estate standpoint, and it can be real estate, it can be cars, it can be anything. But as a salesperson, which I don't believe I am, I believe I'm a relationship management person, and that's what I do. I help people build relationships. But I think the biggest obstacle for everybody who's in sales is that perceived notion right off the bat, oh man, I have to deal with this salesperson. How do you think, or what do you believe would be the biggest way or the easiest way to break down that barrier when pitching yourself, when branding yourself?
Yeah. So another really great example. Let's say, what's the best way that I can explain this? You have to actually take the time to get to know your audience. So when you find your smallest viable market, and that means that you're okay saying I'm not for everyone. And so when you find that smallest viable market, your pitch becomes even easier because you know with confidence this is my target audience. I've already done my market research on them. I already know their interests. I already know their values. I already know their vision. And that's how you pitch it. You pitch it already knowing all of that stuff that's already going to resonate. If you do the spray and pray method where you're just out there saying, hey, I'm for everyone, then nothing's going to stick. So find your smallest viable market too. And if somebody then comes to you and says, yeah, well, I don't really like your brand, it's not really for me, you can say, that's okay, it's not for you. Because I know my smallest viable market, and that's who I know is going to resonate the most with.
Love it. You know what? This leads me into a great story that I just remembered. I had a friend of mine, he was in the mortgage industry, and he called me for lunch one day, and he was very concerned, very good friend of mine. He said, hey, listen, I'm coming because I love you, brother, and I had 3 clients for you, and I sent them your social media, and 2 of them didn't want to work with you because of your social media. And he was expecting me to be offended, and I said, thank you.
Yeah.
The one that did want to work with me was the right type of client that I work with, and understanding and embracing that fact that we are not for everybody, it goes a long way to that authenticity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you share an example of a successful marketing campaign where human psychology played a key role?
Okay, absolutely. So although I can't get into the specific of all my clients, I can say that one client was launching a worldwide product. So it's something that would be in the spotlight and the first time here in Canada. So now in order to do that and to build the buzz that would resonate, we had to dig deep into the trenches of human behavior and human psychology, and not only create the buzz, but create the community that would create the buzz for us tenfold. So by looking into the market research, by finding similar-ish products, by analyzing why each audience segment is there, we were able then to zone in on that human behavioral traits that would allow the brand to become not just a want, but a need. So there is always a story behind a story. And this I tell all of my clients. What is that story? Find the story behind the story. Why are each of these audience segments there? What are their intentions? What would be the call to action that you want them to take? And that's how you build your community and ultimately an advocate. So strategies are not at the top of the funnel. Strategies are at the middle to the bottom of the funnel. And that's where that success lies.
Wow. So oh man, this is, I'm learning, I'm already learning. And I've read your shit, I've watched your shit. Now you're taking the feelings, connecting them with need.
Yes, absolutely. You're finding that pain point and you are building a bridge. So that pain point is then connected to their want and their need.
Realtors, not just no realtors. I'm speaking for realtors.
Yes.
But guys, if you've got any questions about this, man, I highly recommend you reach out to Lindsay. She's literally, as we're speaking right now, and we've spoken, she's blowing my mind. This, when it comes to social media and your content that you're posting, you've got to be doing this. People need to know who you are first. And then if you use some of these tactics, oh man, it's going to be amazing for you guys. So I highly recommend. Anyway, moving on. How do you identify the emotional triggers that resonate most with your target audience?
So identifying emotional triggers that resonate with our audience starts with deep research and understanding. You have to take the time. If you're still just out there and you're spraying and praying, you're putting out whatever, it's not going to stick. So as we know, each client and industry are different, so are the approaches and things that they will tolerate. So for instance, when we look with the tech company, we focus on the innovation and convenience of their products that are bringing to the users. And we dive into customer reviews, we dive into social media feedback and competitor analysis to uncover what excites and frustrates the audience at the same time. And the key emotional triggers might be efficiency or reliability or even the prestige of having cutting edge technology. So then in contrast, when dealing with a lifestyle brand, the focus shifts to the aspiration aspect. So we look at the lifestyle or audience aspires and how our clients' products fit into that vision. So we analyze trends, we analyze cultural influences, lifestyle choices, and through various data sources, including social media, we listen and we look at influencer insights. And at the heart of this process, always, always, always is empathy. So we put ourselves in the shoes of the end user and imagine their daily challenges and their desires. So by understanding their world, we can then like craft messages that speak directly to their hearts.
Wow.
Well, people
I need a minute.
They want to feel understood, right?
Yeah.
They want to feel valued. They want to be part of something bigger. So how can we strategize so that they are getting exactly that? How can we strategize so that they feel part of the outcome? So by consistently applying these principles while tailoring our approach to each unique client, we can then identify those emotional triggers that truly resonate and drive that meaningful engagement.
So now we've brought in another one. Now we've brought in validation. People want to feel validated.
Absolutely. Even when you were a child, think back to when you were a child and you really, really wanted something and your parents were like, no, or you were like, I really worked hard about this and I really did this. And even with your report cards, when you brought your report cards, you wanted to feel validated. All of us do. It's a natural instinct. So this you have to also think about in your branding and marketing.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, what techniques do you use to build trust and credibility with potential customers through your branding efforts?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There are quite a few sub areas we could look at, but keeping things simple, let's take a look at the top three, we'll say. So when it comes to building trust through branding and marketing, there are three key areas that you can use or focus on. So first up, obviously, empathy and connection. So it's crucial to understand your audience. This means diving into their needs, their desires, like I've talked about, and their pain points, and then personalizing the message to hit those keys. So when you show that you genuinely care about their experiences, it makes a huge difference. So for realtors, when they come in and they walk through that door and you say, hi, welcome, it doesn't stop there. Like that's not, they're not even really hearing you say, hi, welcome. They're saying, okay, that's my point person for contact, but that's it. So genuinely stop and converse with them and make them feel seen and make them feel heard, make them feel validated. And then your audience starts having sort of that semi built up trust. And from there, then that will resonate off of the screen or off of, you know, the open house or whatever. So next, I think would be consistency. So consistent branding is all about maintaining a unified message and tone and visual identity across all the platforms. So this creates a sense of predictability. And that's really actually what people want. They want to see that, okay, we know that Jimmy does this type of social media. We know that he's not just, you know, a tight-tied suit guy, but he has a personality. And he's consistent in that. He's not just doing it for a show. He's not just doing it for a sale. So that starts building familiarity, trust. And then thirdly, it would be something that's incredibly powerful, and that's sharing testimonials and reviews. Real customers, that will build credibility as well. So people trust the experiences of others. They trust the words of others, especially those they can relate to. So partnering with voices who can vouch for your brand adds a layer of trust. And to underestimate the power of user-generated content is so detrimental to you. So encourage satisfied customers to speak up for you, to help you build that advocacy community, because at the end of the day, in whatever industry you're in, it's up to you to build your own community.
100%. And it's one of the things I preach to anybody I speak to. You've got to get the testimonials. And a lot of people are so, it makes them feel, what's the word? Cheesy, queasy, I don't know what the word is, that they won't ask. And it's a really simple process at the end of the day. Once you've done your deal and you've closed your deal, you've given your gift basket, you send them that email. Listen, referrals are super important to me. And you send them the links to Google, Facebook, whatever the review points, LinkedIn. You send them the link so they can leave it directly. Take the effort off them. But if you don't ask, how do you expect to build up a brand?
Absolutely.
You literally can't build up a testimonial brand if you don't ask. So yeah, that's such an important part of this. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to grasp all this because hey guys, I'm learning at the same time. Okay,
Put some notes together. That's what we'll do. We'll do a carousel with some keynote takeaways. How about that?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And I think that's amazing. Make sure you follow Lindsay as well if you're not following her already. And if you're one of Lindsay's fans, make sure you follow me because I post some good shit once in a while. It's funny and it's educational. It's how I approach life. Okay, what role does storytelling play in branding and marketing? And how do you ensure these stories resonate with your audience? And that's such a, you know, when you think about that, you've got an audience. They're all different people. All different, and they've all got different ideas of what's good and what's bad. How do you even begin to come up with a strategy that plays to the masses almost?
So again, you're going to figure out your smallest viable market first. So whoever comes on, if it's somebody who may not be in your smallest viable market, they're going to come and they're going to test it out and they're going to see the waters and see how that feels for them. And then they're going to decide at that point, am I part of that elite circle or this just isn't for me? So that's okay. But listen, there is always a story behind a story, always, right? So our job is to come uncover even a crumb of that story and build off of that. So a father and daughter going to a first soccer match, we'll take this for example. The dad isn't really into soccer, but his daughter is, and he wants to introduce her to the world of soccer athletes. So there's your crumb story. He's going to take her there. He's going to enjoy just the company of his daughter. He's going to see the smile on her face. So that's what we do, is we build a story around making that experience elevated for his daughter, which then ultimately will elevate the experience for him. So you have to take the time to deeply understand your audience. And in sports marketing, you know, there's different segments on why people are there. Are they there because they want to see the rivalry team? Are they there because they the avid live die fan? Are they there because it's the dad and the daughter and he just wants her to experience the liveliness and the world of sports? So figure out all your different audience segments and what's going to work for them.
Amazing. Hey guys, this is ridiculous. I'm literally, it's crazy because, you know, a lot of people will tell me I do such a good job at branding and marketing. And if you follow me, you know that I do. And I'm proud of what I've achieved. I really am. However, holy man, this is taking it to the whole nother level that it's brand new. And I love it. And I'm so glad we're able to bring this to you guys today. So moving on, how do you balance the use of psychology in marketing with maintaining authenticity and ethical standards? And I'm glad, man, I love this question for so many reasons, because authenticity, oh my Lord, I don't know whether it's just real estate. I don't know. I don't think it is. It could be fitness. It could be anything. But I think one thing that we struggle with in today's society is a lack of authenticity.
Yeah. So for me, it's a very interesting question. Firstly, I have completely eliminated the word authenticity from my vocab, and I'll tell you why. It has
Please
lost
do.
the true meaning of the word, and instead, what people have started to do is just generalize it as an excuse. So, someone, if you were given a horrible service somewhere on your first, second visit, would you then chalk it up and say, well, at least they were being authentic? No, you would not go back there because you have bad service, right? So instead, we flip that and we use the word genuine instead. And in your most horrible of days, you have to ask yourself, how are you showing up as your most genuine person that you could possibly be? So you can't use it as an excuse now. You have to check yourself in whatever industry, in real estate, you're having a bad month or a bad year or whatever it is. How are you showing up for each one of those clients in your most genuine way? That you have to hold yourself accountable for. So yeah, I mean, there's that balancing psychology and marketing with being genuine and ethical is absolutely crucial. It starts with a commitment to transparency and honesty. No BS. Whatever you do, just no BS. So we use psychological insights to understand our audience better, not to manipulate. Although there is a side of manipulation that actually is quite positive. So an example would be like if I was on here and I was completely pumping up Jim, or we'll say Orange Theory. Say I'm completely pumping up Orange Theory. And at some point or another, someone here in the audience goes, I actually want to check out Orange Theory. I may have manipulated you to get there, but the positive outcome is now you're doing something for your health to better your strength. So manipulation doesn't have to be horrible. Don't get me wrong. I know that there's like so much buzz around being manipulated, especially in branding and marketing. But as long as it's for a positive reason, then every campaign that you manipulate people with, it will come out as a positive reaction for them as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to say that, manipulation, words like ego, they're not always negative. Especially the ego, it gets such a bad rap, but we need ego. We do need it. It forms a part of life, but it's got such a bad rap over the years that we have these words. And manipulation is another one. That one smacks of negativity for the most part. But like you say, if you can convince somebody or manipulate them into visiting a gym and bettering their health, oh man, it's a win-win, right? So amazing. Another great, stunning answer. How do you tailor your marketing messages to different segments of your audience using psychological insights? Let's take real estate. Give me some nuggets on real estate. If you didn't write it down, or see if you can come up with this and let me know.
Okay. So ask me the question again.
How do you tailor your marketing messages to different segments? How do you tailor your marketing messages to realtors?
Okay. How do we do it to realtors? So there would be, let's say a group comes in and they're looking at one of your houses. One of them is on the business side. The other one loves the house because there's an emotion involved. So I recently sat and talked with another realtor, and he said, using emotion for everybody, it's not going to work. It is, because even when you're there for a business transaction, you're there for an investment property, there's an emotion attached. Why are they buying it for that business for that business transaction? What do they want to get out of it? Now, what emotion is tied to why they want to get out of that, why they want to, they want that property? Is it because success? Okay, what emotion is tied to success? Is it because they want something that their family can move into down the road? Okay, well then what's the emotion tied to family? So there's always going to be a story behind the story. There's always going to be an emotion tied to whatever reason those people want that house, or they're going to bid on that house, or whatever it is. So understand your audience in any segment. That's just for realtors. Again, if we go back to sports marketing, it's, you know, is it tied to family? Is it tied to rivalry? Is it tied to feeling a part of a community? It's there's always going to be an emotion. So if you're building your branding and marketing strategy yourself, the one thing I would tell you is just pull up a full scope emotional wheel and choose off that wheel what you want to radiate from your message.
All right, I'm going to interrupt. Guys, write that shit down. Full scope emotional wheel. I think that might be a nugget for today. Holy cow. Sorry.
Yes. Hit the emotion. Hit the emotion. Whether or not it's a good emotion or a bad emotion, it doesn't matter. Hit an emotion, and that's what's going to make things stick.
Holy cow. Guys, I hope you're taking notes. We will leave this live. It'll be on my page. It'll be on Lindsay's page if you want to come back and you didn't get a chance to watch it all, so you can review. And again, we'll do some slides. We'll get some carousels going with some key nuggets from today. And I've got a feeling that the full scope emotional wheel will be a slide all by itself. And I think that, wow, that's an amazing one. Can you discuss any innovative psychological techniques or trends in marketing that you are currently exploring or implementing? Let us inside the wheelhouse, Lindsay. Give us a sneak. Yeah, give us some juice.
My top-notch secrets. I have to like open the Pandora's box for that one.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So right now, we are actually diving into some fascinating new insights in human psychology that are reshaping our approach to marketing. And one area in particular is behavior economics.
Behavior economics.
This field explores how people really make decisions, and often in ways that are irrational but predictable. So we're leveraging concepts that are nudging where small design changes can significantly influence behavior without restricting the choice of it. So another trend that we are actually exploring on top of that is neuroscience-based marketing. So that's a little bit deeper for sure. So that's advances in brain imaging and cognitive science, and helping us understand how consumers' brains respond to different stimuli. So by tapping into this, we can then create a more engageable and emotionally resonating experience for that audience. And it's not just about what people think they want, it's about what the brains actually know and are drawn to from there. And then I think the last one would be AI. Of course, right? So looking at companies like Setter AI. And I think their website is setterai.org. Definitely go check them out. And we're working with machines that learn, that allow us to analyze vast amounts of data to understand individual preferences and behaviors on a much deeper level. So this allows us to tailor messaging and offers it in a way that feels genuine. And Setter AI does that. It's a chat bot, we'll say, but you know what we found too in a lot of the testings is when we use something like Setter AI, this one specifically, we put something in and we had somebody come out and say, "Oh my gosh, like I thought it was a real person," and they apologized for their tone after using it. So it's a good platform. Go check it out. I'm doing a little pump here, Setter AI. They're awesome. So, and then lastly, we're obviously we're embracing the concept of sustainable marketing, and everybody's talking about sustainability right now. So people are increasingly making decisions based on their values and ethical considerations. So by focusing on full transparency and ensuring our marketing aligns with our audience values, it contributes to a larger social good.
Super curious. Another question right off the AI train, because it is all the talk right now. I'm really curious how many people that you've spoken to that are actually utilizing that tool, because for me, I utilize it. It's amazing. It still blows my mind every day, every time I use it and I ask it to do something new. The percentage of people that you talk to, how many people are using AI?
You know, there's a smaller amount right now, and that's only because they don't understand it right now. So there's a lot of people that are thinking AI is going to steal my job and that's it. Like we're going to be just like the Jetsons where everything's going to be computerized, but
Yeah.
that's not exactly it. And AI is there to assist.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, unfortunately, yes, it will take some jobs. Yes, unfortunately, it will,
Yep.
eliminate other. That's the way the world evolves, unfortunately. But ultimately, what it's helping companies do is function more smart, function more sustainable, function more transparent and smooth through all of that. So, over at Stockhouse, where I'm reporting on capital markets, I just did a big, huge segment with Austin Zelen about AI, about where that's going, about the auto trading and stuff like that. So we can put the link in the copy as well for people to go and check that out. And that actually explains a lot more about all the different kinds of AI and how you can actually incorporate that into your businesses.
Yeah, no, and I think it's such a valuable tool. And for the realtors out there, all the people that are preaching that AI is going to get rid of our jobs, go to Safeway, go to the self checkout, and see how many people struggle just with the self checkout. AI is not going to take your job, especially if you're really good at your job and you know what you're doing. So yeah, I think that's the AI is such a powerful tool and needs to be used. I'm all out of questions, Lindsay. Tell me, so I'm going to ask you some random questions right now.
Sure.
So all I've got right now is a full emotional wheel going around in my head. What's the one from your experience and what you've seen, especially with realtors? What's the one piece of advice that you could give to realtors to say, hey, start doing this one thing that could potentially change the course of your business for the rest of 2024 and going into 2025?
Yeah, that's interesting. I would say stop chasing the money. Stop chasing the money in your mind that is your goal, and start chasing the community that you want to build. That would be the biggest key things, because at the end of the day, whoever you're building in your community now, those are going to be the same people that are in a room or at a table that you are not at yet. And they're going to speak your story on behalf of you in a room or at a table that you are not there yet. So when you take the time to invest in the people that walk in the door, it doesn't matter if you think that they are there to buy the house or not buy the house. Take the time, because if they're not ready, they may know somebody who is. Slow down, stop thinking about the dollar and start thinking about people as people.
And I can tell you right now from personal experience, once I stopped chasing the dollars 3 or 4 years ago, and that was my only focus, and realized that I have such a deep passion of helping people. That helping people gave me the interest in people. I want to know their stories. I want to know where they come from. I want to know where the whole family history. I love. And once you take the focus away and focus on the people, oh man, it changes so much. And I think I don't know whether it's just real estate, but I think we get lost in chasing those dollars.
And we get it. It's expensive to live nowadays. It's over expensive to live here on the West Coast. I totally get that. But is that dollar sign in your mind? Is that creating a conversion for you? So if you look back as a realtor, if you look back as a business owner, it's not going to create that conversion for you. It's building that advocacy community. It's building that trust. It's getting to know your smallest viable market on a more personal level, and then running it from there.
Okay, guys, that was a lot. We're going to keep it nice and short, 35 minutes, and I love it. There's a lot of information right there, a lot. And we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna get some slides together. If you've got any questions or comments, pop me a message, send me a DM, or Lindsay. Lindsay, how can people get a hold of you the best way?
Yeah. So the best way to probably find me on LinkedIn under Lindsay Melchuk, right here on Instagram as well under Lindsay Melchuk. I'm actually doing some market research right now, so our website is down, but definitely hit the trend that's on socials right now and go right into the DMs. Hit me up there. And I know Julia, you had a question here. I love that cereal aisle example. Can you share another example of a successful marketing campaign where human psychology played a key role in adults?
Oh, great question, Julia.
Yeah. Okay. So for adults, let's take this back. Yeah. Let's go back to sports marketing for this. Okay. So let's say your team is Seattle Seahawks. Okay. You know that they are now coming here and they're going to be, well, we're CFL here, but you're going to a game and you're like the avid fan of the Seattle Seahawks. Now you know, okay, Seattle Seahawks biggest rivalry, we'll say, I don't know, Steelers. Who knows? So Seattle Seahawks, they're away playing a game, but you know that Steelers, wherever you are, there's a Steelers game, and you know that's the Seahawks' biggest rivalry. You're going to go to that game not based off of the fact that you're just in that city. You're going to go to that game and decide to spend that much money and go to all the things and celebrate all the loses or whatever it is because you're so invested in the Seattle Seahawks. You want to see that rivalry team not win, and that's okay. So what they've done is the Steelers have now marketed to all the segments of their audience, not just their fans, but to you as well, who's a Seahawks fan, saying, okay, come check us out. Let's see how this goes. They got you to the game based off of your emotion.
Wow.
So you see, it's human psychology. It's very, very smart. They're going to, go out there and they're going to say, yeah, we're here and this is our game and this is what time it is. And they're going to do all these things. And they may even push a little bit of a little pinch towards the Seahawks, right? And you're going to go, I'm going to be there and I'm going to support my team no matter what, if they're there or not. You're making that psychological decision. Nobody messes with my team. I'm going to go there and I'm going to scream their name and I'm going to do all the things. And I really want those Steelers to lose. That's the power of human psychology and building community.
I love it. Oh my God. Hook into those emotions, the needs, the wants. It's amazing.
It's everywhere.
Hey,
so thank
before
you.
we go, I want to put a quick shout out. Obviously, I talked very briefly at the beginning about structuring your social media. I want to put my shout out to social marketing queen, Caitlin Rhodes I think she's down in Florida. She is literally changed everything about my social media. She will do you an audit of your social media page, and she runs such an amazing program of how to structure your social media. Can't recommend her enough, and she's just a super lovely person as well. Obviously, Lindsay, thank you so much. Absolutely golden nuggets, and I really hope people reach out and especially realtors and realtors that just a little bit stuck.
They're just
Need that little bit of structure and a little bit of, hey, how about this?
Yes.
And I think, that's where you come in, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. Thank you, guys. We're going to put the replay will be up on my site and Lindsay's site. And thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, let's get this started. Okay, my phone's frozen.